Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iconic Messengers, broadcasting live from the Content Hub of Dallas. I am your host, Pat Hilton, and welcome to The Revolution. We back. Mindset Monday. It is Labor Day 2024, and you should be putting in some labor today on Labor Day. Let's face the facts. It's just Monday. Labor Day, cool. What the banks take a day off, the government takes another day off, I'm sure. The government never fucking works. They don't do shit except spend everybody else's money. But we, the people, we got to put the work in every single day of the week, every single day of the year to keep up. Because if we don't, guess what happens? We burn. We get left behind. So it is Labor Day, and you should be putting in some labor. Okay? Fact of the matter is, nobody owes you anything. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to give you any breaks. And one thing I've learned is that sometimes people will say one thing and do another thing. Okay? I saw a video. Somebody sent me a video, and since I have the person blocked, they had to actually download it and send it to me. And it's this guy talking about core values. And this person, this specific individual, does not live by these core values at all. These core values apply to everyone that works for the person so that he can control them. And I found it very interesting because the second that you can't be controlled, you become dangerous. The second that you can't be controlled, you become a threat. The second that you start to make it on your own and you start to pave your own way and clear your own lane, dude, that is the second that you start to feel not only the pressure of the outside world release, but you start to realize that there is freedom if you forge your own path. Because, ladies and gentlemen, everybody loves you when they can control you. You're just a pawn. But the second that you've created your own lane, you've cleared your own lane for yourself, and you've started to create your own category for yourself, and you prove, I don't need this, or this, BS. Well, dude, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, this guy's a threat. This guy's dangerous. And that's why I always promoted myself. There's a couple different angles, but I have always started to promote myself recently as the most dangerous man in the game because I have cleared a lane not only for myself, but for other people, just like the people that paved the way for me. And I think that's a really important thing to remember is that as you start to clear your own path, because you're going to have to at some point, you're going to have to be your own thing at some point. You're going to realize that a lot of people helped you get to the point where you're at, to where you could pivot and build your own trajectory. There's a lot of people out there, the Uncle G's and the Brad Lees and the Gary V's that paved the way for me to go out and do what I do today. And so it's really important as you start to notice that, as you show gratitude, to really get aggressive about where you're going, how you're approaching the game, and what's going to be the difference between you and everybody else. And I've said this before, and this week is going to be challenging because I do have to travel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to film these episodes and I'm going to send them to my team so that my team can still post them as podcasts. They might not be live, but my team is going to post these as podcasts so that everybody can still see me hold myself accountable of doing this every single day, except Sundays. I have a plan for Sundays that I haven't been able to execute yet, but I want to do this 7 days a week. It will get there, but I'm starting with 6 days a week because I know that most people only do one podcast a week. which just, in my opinion, that's just not enough. Pace Morby does a podcast every single day, sometimes 2 times a day. And I would argue that Pace is setting a new standard in the real estate investment influencer space. I think that he is setting a new standard. I think that he is quickly becoming one of the standards. Him, RJ Bates III, obviously, and Dean Rogers, a lot of these guys, the new breed of hybrid investor / influencers that put on events, speak, have podcasts, do streams, and run real estate investment companies. I work with a lot of these people, and so I know exactly what their output looks like. And these people are quadrupling the output of their competitors. And over the long term, that's going to show up big because you just plain can't fake consistency. I was surfing Instagram the other night. So I block a lot of people on social media, especially people that have done me wrong in the past, because I don't want to go on their page and say something that would incriminate me or allow people to, associate me as a bad mouther. I'd rather just say it to the person's face. And so I block people if they do me wrong. So if you notice, sometimes I block people because I like them and I don't want to say anything nasty. But most of the time I block people because they're pieces of shit, and I don't want to go on their post and call them a piece of shit because then I just look bad. So I just block these people. And so I'll go on like our company page or our community page, and I'll snoop on them, admittedly, right? And I'll notice that those people, they always have the same gaslighting, right? Anybody that has anything to say about those people, they're just categorized as a hater, right? And this is so important to remember, that when you block someone or you remove someone from online, and Alex Hormozy posted this the other day, so that clearly makes it true because Hormozy said it too, okay? That when you block someone or you remove someone from your social, you really realize how irrelevant that person is in the big scheme of things anyway. Like, no one really knows who that person is. You only know them because you're in this little tunnel or this little circle of people that might know that person. But it's important to remember that the internet isn't necessarily true all the time. You can show anybody whatever you want on the internet. But when you go live like this, you can't fake it. There's no edits. I can't go back and change anything that I've said because you would know that I edited it. And the whole point of me even doing this is to practice being on the spot, being live, just like I am on a stage. I have for 20 years on stages, more than that, where you don't get any replays. You don't get any retakes. If you screw it up, you screw it up. And I've made some mistakes before. I'm not perfect. But I will tell you that the people that I have had problems with, and the most problems with in the past, are always people who I get to a certain point where I'm starting to get to a certain level that is near that person in a performance category. And that person becomes insecure. And they say, hey, we're not going to put this guy on anymore because he's kicking our ass. Whereas someone like a Carlos Reyes or a Pace Morby or a Grant Cardone or a Brad Lee, they want to put me up there because they want me to do a great job. They want me to be the best. Because listen, people who are secure with themselves and who are secure with their own success, they want the best person from that lane integrated into what they do because it's going to make everybody else better. But the people that have ego issues, that don't play fair, that are backstabbers, those types of people cannot stand it when somebody else comes in and slam dunks on their court. They cannot stand it. And so it's really important for you to remember that as you ascend, sometimes the people that you were ascending with, once you start to get to a certain level where you're outperforming that person in a certain category, that is the second that they're going to cut you off. Whereas other people, and I work with some unbelievable people, are like, oh, dude, let's double down. Let's pay Pat more to be better. Let's pay Pat more money to be better. Let's give him more responsibility, more gigs, more this, more that. We want more because, man, you're doing such a great job. We want to reward you. And so, listen, not everybody is going to turn the backhand on you. Some people, they're gonna level you up. You got to just be aware that you can't control either outcome. You can only control you. When you start to increase your productivity, you start to increase your production, you start to increase your output, some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. And I've just separated myself from people that didn't like it because it's not my fault that somebody doesn't like the fact that I went out and did something for myself. And at first, when it's a friend or a colleague or somebody that supported you, maybe you didn't have much and that person was putting you on, and then you start to get better and better and better and better, and you require a little bit more, and you feel like you get shafted or you don't get rewarded for the extra effort. That is not a you thing. It's not. And you will get the reward if you keep up the effort. So when something like that happens, you're clearing your own lane. You're becoming a category leader. Not everybody wants to see you lead anything because they want to be in charge. So you got to be really, really, really careful about beating yourself up over your own improvement, because I've done this before. I got better and better and better at what I was doing for this person or that person or the other person. And things started getting weird. And I'm like, man, what's going on with this? What's up with this? What's up with that? And then I realized that it's like, not everybody is going to like the fact that you're improving. It's a weird thing, but most people will. And most of the good people that are really your friends, that are your best clients, that are your best customers, your biggest supporters, they're going to double down on you when they see you putting in more effort. And I used to have a real problem with this. It really pissed me off, especially in my younger years when I'm putting in all this effort. And we're a brand building company. So we've helped people make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And, sometimes those same people have turned around and fired us. And we're left looking at the situation and we're like, what happened? It had nothing to do with us. It had nothing to do with us. It had everything to do with the fact that when you shine your light bright enough, sometimes the roaches go running, man. And maybe what you think was a lot that you were doing, the other person didn't know how to even handle it and they blew it anyway. So again, I could go way, way, way deep down the rabbit hole on this one, but we're a social media company and I'm an MC. And so I go up at events and I help people craft their offer, pitch their offer, and close their offer. And I have watched these offers at these events completely change people's lives. So don't get it fucked up. Don't get it confused. I work with some unbelievable business professionals. Some people we can't even name anymore because we have privacy agreements and stuff like that, which is crazy to me. Which is why, again, I'm doing this because I have to. I have to get so good at talking about this stuff that it just rolls off my tongue. But I'm not going to get that great at it unless I practice every day. And so it's important to remember, as you clear the lane, as you become the go-to person, as you become the category expert, some people aren't going to like that. Some people are going to love it. Some people aren't going to like it at all. And they're going to be like, man, we're tired of paying the bill for this guy to grow. Because in reality, those people were never your friend. They were never your supporter. They were never really on your side. You were just a tool for them to unlock whatever they needed at that moment in time. And it's okay to understand that, but it's not okay to beat yourself up over the fact that you went out there and kicked ass. So this is really important. Clear the lane, become self-dependent, go out there, get healthy with your offer, with your skill set, with your mindset, with your habits. Last March, I was like 20 pounds heavier than I am now. I mean, I still got a ways to go. But I feel better. I'm executing better. And so you got to do self-analysis on you and try not to allow the other folks that maybe didn't want to stick with you for the long term have too much of an effect on your production now. In fact, they should have no effect on it at all. But at the same time, those things are learning experiences. When you get put into a position and you score 50 goals and it's a record-breaking year for everybody, and then you don't get invited back, you have to ask yourself, was it really you? Or was it just you're just a pawn in that person's piggy bank? And so don't beat yourself up over it. This entrepreneur space, especially when you're dealing with like influencer type people that think they're influencers. Let's get that straight first. People who think they're influencers. A lot of these people, they're legends in their own mind only. If you went to Quick Trip right now and you asked 500 people at Quick Trip who this online guru was, 500 people at Quick Trip wouldn't even know who that person is. But you're allowing that person to cloud your judgment of yourself, your production, your output, and your ability to clear the lane and be the best at what you do. Stop doing that to yourself. It's not fair. Number one. And number two, nobody gives a fuck about what that person thinks anyway, or who that person is, and you shouldn't either. Focus on the people that love you, that support you, that want to see you grow. Those people, they're doubling down on you. Double down, triple down, quadruple down on them. Quit worrying about the other folks. But don't get it twisted. Keep people in your peripheral vision, right? Make sure you understand where the game is moving. Make sure you understand the flow, okay? Because it becomes really, really easy to read the field when you have the experience, the personal experience to back up how you evaluate, right? Especially when you're dealing with people. People will tell you one thing and show you who they really are. Sometimes it's a thumbs up, sometimes it's a thumbs down. Make sure that you clear the lane and get so damn good that it doesn't matter what anybody does. You're going to make it no matter what. You're going to make it no matter what. And, a little bit of rambling today, but I think it's good for me because, professionally, I've stayed quiet for the most part and just stuck to short form videos because it's easier for me to not hover over the target on certain things, situations, people that fucked me. And because people who really know me know those situations, saw those situations, can see how it happened. But in reality, I am so much better off because what it really showed me was, look at all these amazing people around me. Look at how much great stuff is going on. Look at our incredible client list. Look at these incredible events we're starting to put on at the Content Hub. The Content Hub was created, developed, and put in motion because of how much great support we have. So remember, folks, use today to clear the lane, right? Get everything out of your way. Say what you got to say. Look at what you need to look at. Analyze it, audit, and align. Because I'm telling you something. Once you get aligned and you get clear on what you need to do, you look at that stuff and it doesn't affect you the same way that it did when you were annoyed by it. You just laugh. Okay? Become dangerous, become unpredictable, become the savage you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Iconic Messengers Mindset Monday. Clear the lane. Analyze, audit, align, and go out there, folks, and be iconic.